Palmer talks about a Quaker man named John Woolman who lived in colonial New Jersey, so same places that we're in now. He lived and walked in. While slavery didn't fit with the Quaker belief in the equality of all people, many Quakers, including here in New Jersey, owned slaves. Woolman saw a deep contradiction in the difference between their belief in equality and then the reality of slavery among Quaker communities. Quakers have a particular kind of meeting that is based on dialogue. And so these meetings offered Woolman a chance to speak from his heart and to share his views about the immorality of slavery. It also allowed other people to disagree. And so even though some of his fellow Quakers did disagree with him and he with them, they supported each other's rights to speak up for and honor what they believed. For 20 years, from roughly 1760 to 1780, Woolman shared his beliefs about the immorality of slavery among Quaker communities up and down the East Coast. For 20 years, the Quaker community sat with the tension of the disagreement. For 20 years, Woolman himself sat with the tension of it all, holding it within his own heart. Rather than minimizing the harm done by slavery so he'd fit in better, he held the tension of being disliked. Rather than becoming angry and violent toward people who disagreed with him, he kept on engaging in dialogue. Rather than overlooking the heartbreak of slavery, he held the tension of seeing it and naming it and of giving of himself to change things. I will say one thing that bothers me about the example is that Palmer doesn't speak to the tension that the people who were enslaved had to experience and to bear without having a choice. And, not but and after 20 years of Woolman letting his heart hold the tension and giving himself for his beliefs, Quakers became the first faith community in the United States to uniformly free their slaves and to advocate for abolition at the national level, including petitioning Congress. And all of that happened 80-some years before the Civil War. Palmer concludes that it was the Quakers' willingness to let their hearts break open without shattering into pieces, their willingness to let their hearts be soft and flexible instead of hard and unyielding, their willingness to let their hearts open from the inside instead of trying to crack other people's open, that it was all of this that enabled them to make progress. He writes, "When the heart is supple, it can be broken open into a greater capacity to hold our own and the world's pain. It happens every day. When we hold our suffering in a way that opens us to greater compassion, heartbreak becomes a source of healing, deepening our empathy for others who suffer and extending our ability to reach out to them. This kind of tension holding can plant the seeds of justice and of peace, as Woolman and other exemplars of nonviolence have shown time and time again."